Hello and welcome, or welcome back. I am Crackers, and today I'm working on getting my forge table set up so I can finish the modifications to my fire pot. This table has already been through a couple iterations and I'm ready to finalize it for use in my current shop setup. I had originally intended to put it on wheels once I knew how I wanted it set up, but I no longer have any intention to work outside of my shop, so standard legs it is. This frame and legs are made from 1-inch 14 gauge square tube, and it's a little wobbly without the bracing I intended to add when I put it on wheels. I'm changing over to these oval tubes I scavenged from an old above ground pool. It's thinner material, but the increase in dimension should net a positive for strength and rigidity once the cross braces are installed. To simplify the setup, I'm laying out my legs and braces on the forge table itself. Fortunately, there's a support for the fire pot in just the right spot, so I don't even have to measure anything. I'm setting these cross braces a little high so I can box in the top 6 inches. I'm hoping this will help direct the radiant heat off of the bottom of the forge around the back so I can vent it out the hood along with the forge gases. And just as I was really building up some momentum, I ran out of wire. So my machine ran out of wire. I had been running Hobart flux core, and I ordered some cheap wire off of Amazon, and it wasn't until I got ready to go put it in the machine I realized I got MIG wire, not flux core. So I went to ye old Harbor Freight, and hopefully this is the right stuff this time. And I just put that upside down like it goes on my other machine. Alright, see what she does. I'm actually very impressed with this Vulcan wire. It probably has the highest deposition rate I've ever seen from FluxCore. Had a couple feeding issues I usually don't have with Lincoln or Hobart wire, but nothing I can't live with. My weld prep here is terrible, but it just powers through. And this was a huge gap, like 1/4 of an inch. And this is only 18 gauge material at best. This would have taken forever to fill with Lincoln wire because of the amount of time that you'd have to pause in between and how little material you would actually put down. Had a little bit of porosity, but I completely forgot to clean the powder coat off of the cross brace, so I'm pretty happy with how it came out. And I'm adding these extra braces to the bottom of the table because the top stretches away from the fire pot when it's hot, and then a bunch of dust falls through the crack. And then I need to do a quick test fit because I realized I didn't verify clearance between the ash dump lever and the cross brace. But it looks like we're all good. So just a couple things left on the forge table and we can make the linkage for the clinker breaker. I made up these sides from some roofing scraps and tacked them into place. And a quick bracket for the air gate lever to pivot on. Then I traced out some feet and cut them out with the angle grinder. And for some reason, cutting these out was incredibly satisfying. Somewhere in the next couple weeks, I'm going to do something about all this mess, but I am really excited for that project. I came to the conclusion just a basic single lever was going to have some complications, so I'll have to put the pivot higher, and I can add a link to accommodate for the arc that the lever travels on. And I'm only leaving a stub on the other end of this lever so I can make a more decorative handle later on. Plunger itself was binding due to some dents in the shaft. A little file work and I got it running smoothly. Amazing how much that works. If I stop playing with her, I'm going to go blind. Then I made the sacrificial top for the clinker breaker. And I'm attaching it with 1/4-inch bolts so I can just break them off if they get seized, and then just weld in new nuts. The top is actually bigger than the hole itself, so it has to bolt in after the plunger is installed. It took some planning to make it work, but it does actually work pretty well. The linkage was pushing the plunger to one side. Fortunately, I was able to fix that with a spacer that bolted in this extra hole I wasn't using. I need to make a limiting stop on the bottom, It binds all the way at the bottom still, and I don't want it to open that far anyway, or to let all the coal fall through the crack. You can tell I am more than done with this project because I'm not even wearing my gloves. And that's actually all the travel that it needs. Oh, and did I mention that I painted the table? And finally we can test the fire pot in the finished table and see how it all works out. So, it actually all works out pretty well as far as I'm concerned. I do still need to make the actual handle itself for the clinker breaker. Next time I'm going to be working on some air extraction for the shop. That's actually going to tie into the blower, which is all getting relocated outside. And I'll be making the air gate and actually getting all of this put back together and operational, in theory. Then if, you know, I have coal, which I don't right now. I'm actually kind of low-key hoping that when I hit 1,000 subscribers, YouTube will start paying for my coal. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be anywhere near enough money for that, but I'm hoping for it anyway. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.